John and Emily have been married for over a decade now. From outside, the relationship seemed perfect. However, behind closed door, John's controlling behavior and temper have become a constant presence in Emily's life. At first, it was subtle, a snide comment, a dismissive gesture, or a raised voice. But Emily brushed it out as fatigue or stress. Over time, the incident escalated. John would lash out, criticizing Emily's cooking, her appearance, and her decision as a wife. He restricts her freedom, monitoring her phone calls and questioning her interactions with her friends. And Emily fell trapped, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering John's anger. She became withdrawn, losing touch with her hobbies and her interests. Her self-esteem was dwindled. She was getting slapped on, spit up at every slight provocation, or being yelled at all night. And then she began to believe that she was worthless. And one fateful night, John's anger turned physical. And Emily's screams were muffled by shattering glasses. Her neighbors called the police, but Emily denied the abuse, fearing John's retaliation. The cycle continued. Sometimes he apologized, he made promises, and a brief period of calm, followed by increasingly violent outbursts. And Emily had 2 children with John, but the constant abuse and harassment started affecting the children's academic and social life. So Emily moved them to their grandma so that she can work on her marriage. But it got so out of hand where she was unconscious twice due to series of beating and starvation. And her breaking point was when John threatened to end her life. And then she realized that she has to escape, not just for herself, but for her children and their future. So with the help of a trusted friend and local support service, Emily crafted a plan, and she secured a safe house, and then she filed for divorce. And then she moved out to the safe house with her children while she waited for the court. A few weeks later, after John signed the divorce paper, she thought it was over. She started going for counseling and joined a support group and made some friends. Meanwhile, John faced consequences charged with domestic violence and was ordered to attend therapy and anger management. And Emily thought she had found peace after moving to the new house with her children. She started a new routine and started healing slowly. However, John refused to let go. Despite court order, John continued to harass and intimidate Emily. He would show up at her workplace, stalking her and sending threatening messages. And one evening, Emily returned home from a support group meeting and found John waiting outside her house. He was drunk, furious, and armed with a knife. He yelled at her, "You think you can leave me?" His eyes was blazing with rage while he continued, "You think you can take away my children?" And Emily tried to calm down, but her heart raced. She knew this is it. This was the moment that she has to fight for her life. And then she said, "Please leave me alone, John, or I will call the police." And then John laughs as he gets close to her and said, "Before the police will get here, you'll be dead and I'll be long gone." And John grabbed her, spinning her against the wall. She kicked and scratched as she screamed for help. And in desperation, she remembered the self-defense training she has been learning through the support team, backing with a surge of adrenaline. She broke free and grabbed the nearby vase and struck John's head. John stumbled backwards, giving Emily a chance to escape. She ran inside, locked the door and grabbed her children. And John regained consciousness, enraged and injured on his head. He smashed through the door and raised a knife at them, and Emily stood firm, protecting the children. In a split of seconds, she made the impossible decision. As she sighted the nearby fireplace poker, she grabbed it and struck John on the ground with all her strength. She kept hitting John uncontrollably and screaming until there was blood all over the floor. And Emily collapsed, shaking uncontrollably. She thought her life and the life of her children was over. And the police arrived, responding to Emily's frantic 911 call. They found John lifeless, but Emily alive and traumatized. So the investigation ruled Emily's action as self-defense, and she was cleared of all charges. But Emily's healing was far from over. She faced nightmares, guilt, and weight of her actions. But she knew she did the right thing to protect herself and her children. And now she feels safe and thriving when she realized that she is not the victim, but a survivor. Thank you so much guys for watching, and that's the end of the story today.